I am from New York, originally from Jamaica. I came here as a kid. Everything was pretty much new to me, and in school I would get in a lot of trouble. It wasn't my fault. I was getting picked on. I didn't understand it. It was new to me. So Mom brought me to a psychiatrist, and immediately the guy looked through me. He was like, "You got no confidence." And miraculously, when we were leaving, martial arts school was next door, and that's when I started, and it took over ever since. So it's pretty much changed my life. I'm terrified. We all are. But it's how you control that, you know? You gotta control it. You gotta not let it eat you. You gotta be able to go in the ring and look at the other guy and not have that fear and that anxiety take over.
Let's go, Andy! Let's go, Andy!
6-1 versus 7-2. Tiger Schumann, Muay Thai, and another striker. So this should be fun.
Nice.
This should be fun.
When you're going into the team pick, you have very little time to assess these athletes. And what I'm looking for, more than anything, is a guy that wants to win. If the guy wants to win and has that heart and determination, we can find a way to get it done. Andy Enns, I think he's a very good fighter. The problem is he ran into a hammer known as Uriah Hall.
Uriah Hall didn't finish, but the guy's so explosive and so talented and kicks so hard and hits so hard.
Winner by decision and moving in the house, Uriah Hall.
We all, I think, me and the two coaches, walked away from that fight thinking this is the guy to beat.
I'm so proud of you. So proud.
Fantastic. Proud of you. Proud of you.
I love you, son. Don't even worry about it.
Great fight.
Thank you.
Awesome battle.
Listen, don't ever give up, okay?
Yes, sir.
Promise you that.
Go ahead and win that
Tough
Ultimate
guy,
Fighter.
man. Thank you.
You're tough as LB, man. Good job.
Tough too, man. You got heart.
Good job.
It's nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. Good job.
Take care, guys.
The head coach of the winning team will pick the fight. So essentially, if you can win and continue to win and keep that momentum, you can keep on putting the two guys out there. So that was up to stake, and we got it.
All right, Chael, you win. You are in control now. Pick the next fight.
All right, first off, with a 7-2 record out of Queens, New York, Uriah Hall.
Yeah.
He will be taking on, with a 4-0 record, out of St. Louis, Missouri, Mr. Adam Sella. Give him a hand.
So Chael picks Hall versus Sella, which is an interesting fight because we all agreed that Hall was the toughest guy here.
I know Uriah's a bad dude. I think he might have a little chip on his shoulder about me. I think he looks at me almost as like a punk kid. Maybe I just kind of get on his nerves a little bit.
Oh, look at this guy. You know, he's small. You know what? This should be nothing. But at the same time, you know, that one little slip up could cost you.
Well, to be honest with you, I think it's going to be a really tough fight for us. You know, Uriah Hall is, in my opinion, one of the best guys in the program this year. You know, Adam is a guy who's an underdog. I need to build up Adam's confidence and hope for the best.
Good luck, gentlemen.
There it is.
For Uriah to win this fight, what he needs to do is he needs to stay aggressive. He's going to go out there and attack. And this is what he does so well, is he'll touch you and kick you repeatedly. That's one thing that we don't do on this team. We're not defensive fighters. We're focused purely on our offense. When we're going forward, they're going backwards. When we're throwing strikes, they're covering up. Offense, offense, offense. confidence. And we can get the opponent out of his game, get him to start buying into, oh no, I need to watch out for this, and I need to have a game plan, and some of these things that just are really unnecessary in this sport but that are commonly believed. What that does is it shuts down his attacks, opens ours up.
Good fighters find openings, great fighters create openings.
I want this more. I want this so bad, because a lot of these guys, they come out here like, well, if this doesn't work out, I got this. Me, I got so much to gain, and I don't think I have anything to lose. I really don't. But sometimes you lose that confidence, and when you lose it, it's like a little drop of poison, man. You let that one little doubt go in your head, and it just affects everything else.
I think we're done, man.
You know, I wanted to ask you a personal question. I have a constant struggle battling myself. I think at one point in my career, I just lost a lot of confidence. And, you know, I have people saying, oh, man, yeah, you're this, you're that. It's different when they see it, but if you don't see it for yourself, I don't think it's worth nothing.
Yeah, I could finish every sentence that you were about to say. Here's the biggest thing that happened to me, is I had lost, X amount of fights by submission in the second round, right around 7 minutes of the fight, dominating up till then. I go, this just isn't physical. I got a mental problem, and I'm finding out where it's happening. So I treated it like an alcoholic, where, the first thing I had to do was admit I got a problem and ask for help. And I went in and saw a guy, a sports psychology guy. One of the huge things that I realized that everybody's going through it. I used to think there was something wrong with me. I used to be really embarrassed about it. And, I talked to Randy Couture about it. And Randy said that the one thing that he learned is that he could never defeat it. He could never defeat the second guessing or the negative voice in his head. And that he just learned, I just got to learn to compete with it. I can't kill this off. I got to compete with it.
When doubt seeps in, you got two roads. You can take either road. You can go to the left or you can go to the right. And believe me, they'll tell you failure is not an option. That is ridiculous. Failure is always an option. Failure is the most readily available option at all times, but it's a choice. You can choose to fail, you can choose to succeed. And if we can plant seeds and let him know, move your feet, keep your hands up, stay off the bottom, that is the road to victory. Or self-doubt and negative talk, and that is the road to failure. But failure is always there, and it's okay to recognize that.
I mean, if I can leave you with anything today in my own journey through this, it's, one, it's okay, and two, it's normal. And as athletes, and especially as men, as male athletes, we hate to admit weakness, even to ourselves. And when you're dealing with something, you get some kind of a hiccup, first thing, acknowledge it, like you just did.
All right. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Time for the weigh-in. Start with, since Mr. Sonnen's right here, we'll start with Mr. Hall.
Every season you get guys that you look at, and this guy could be pretty good. And if I had to sit here and pick a guy right now, Uriah Hall, I would say. When I watch this guy, I go, where the hell has this guy been, and why have we never heard of him?
185. Thank you. Now, Mr. Sella.
Adam isn't afraid of Uriah, and I'm really glad about that. Adam wants to get in there and fight Uriah. Adam's cojones, when he said that, looked like melons, I guess.
184. Thank you, sir.
Uriah is obviously the more athletic of the two, but I think that this is going to be a fight where both guys are going to be pretty banged up.
They're both super good strikers, so I mean, it's going to be a crazy fight.
Thank you. Good job.
Hey.
You ready? Yep. All right, boys, let's go. I'm fighting Uriah Hall, and, he's a tough guy. He's intimidating. A lot of guys are scared to fight him, But I'm pretty confident that I can beat him. I feel like I always rise to the occasion.
Two things that are good. He drops his hands when he comes forward, and he drops his hands when he goes back. The bad thing is whenever he's throwing everything as hard as he can and fast.
As long as you're moving your head, I don't freak out too bad. It's when your hands go down and the head don't move that I have.
That circle and movement.
That combination of the two just doesn't seem to work.
Popping those jabs, man.
Uriah's a big, strong guy, but I have a lot of wins by submission. You know, like the elimination fight, everybody saw I threw up an arm bar, guy picked me up, slammed me, I was taking that arm home with me. You just got to think in your head, this guy can't beat me. And you got to find a way to win.
Take him into deep waters and drown him.
Exactly right.
Uriah, as you're visualizing, man, visualize a little bit of adversity too. Don't always just picture everything going great. You're down a round, you got to come back. You're down 3 minutes of a round, there's 2 left. How do you come back? You start to see those things, you won't get caught by surprise.
I have confidence in my ability where I am with my speed, my strength, my agility. I feel like I'm deadly. I'd probably be scared to fight me too.
The worst things that can happen is you mislead yourself that it's all smooth sailing. When you get met with adversity, you go into a bit of shock. He's going to fight back. He's going to throw punches and kicks. He better. He's in a fist fight.
In my head, I'm trying to be the confident one to say, you know what, this should be nothing. But you know what? You never know. Next thing you know, a takedown could come out of nowhere. I'm not going to take any fight lightly and say, you know what, this kid is easy. My main game plan is just to be comfortable in there. Just to be relaxed and just feel it out and counter and just look for an opening, look for good timing, you know? Keep it standing, maybe put on a show.
Feel okay? Feel good?
I feel like I'm looked at as the underdog of this fight. You know, you just look on paper, you look physically, you know, I'm not a super buff guy, I don't have abs for days, and Uriah looks like an action figure. But every single fight I've had has been like that, and nobody's gotten out of the first round with me. So I think if I can get my hands on his chin a little bit faster than he gets his legs up, I think it's gonna be a good night for Team Jones.
When I walk out, I'll be thinking nothing about just that moment of us just exchanging blows back and forth. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna be me. I wanna be myself. Because once I'm myself, I don't think anybody can beat me.
Winner by knockout, moving on, Uriah Hall.
Adam came out there really confident. I think he really believed that he would win the fight. I thought he was doing really well despite the size advantage or, you know, Uriah's fancy style.
I was impressed with Sonnen. Sonnen went right after him. He was striking with him, but Uriah has vicious knees. Stand-up is good. His kicks are unbelievable. And he has this way that he moves his body that you can't tell what he's going to do. Is he going to kick? Is he going to punch?
The 10-second hammer comes down. And when Adam finally stood still, Uriah saw an opportunity, and he spun and kicked him.
I mean, one of the nastiest knockouts I've ever seen in the fight business, let alone on The Ultimate Fighter.
Uriah Hall, baby, that's the way it's done. Somebody's gonna run for the 25K, I guess.
Knockout of the season's out the window.
It's an unbelievable game.
You just stole my money. You just stole my money, right? Yeah. No one's beating that.
Dude, are you right now? It's one of those ones you want to celebrate, but you don't, because, you know, it's, you know what I mean? It's like, I think we know who's winning the $25,000 this year for the knockout. You guys better start going for fight and submission or something.
The bad news is Uriah just lost every sparring partner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nobody's going to train with his ass.
It feels good, but at the same time, part of me feels bad about what happened. It's a hurt business, but I'm a human being. He's a human being, and I kind of feel bad that, you know, I could possibly really hurt him, man. Adam, I hope you're all right, man. Sorry about the kick. I'm looking forward to see you soon, and I hope you don't hate me.
Hey guys, don't worry about Adam. He's perfectly fine. He's just going to go to the hospital, get a CAT scan, make sure everything's clear. He's conscious. His memory will come back within the next hour or so. So everything.
Thanks.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you.